So you had already drafted your cover letter, but you took the time to adjust it and to change it every time.
every
How
time.
did your story change behind that? Because it's important to put your story out there.
Yeah.
It's not only about your interests, it's how your interests are tied to who you are.
Hmm. So I think at the time when I'd sat down, because the thing is, sometimes you don't actually get to the people who I was networking with weren't necessarily like the recruiters themselves. They were just lawyers, like students that I'd like, I'd met or I'd seen their profile. And I was like, oh my God, her profile looks so nice. Like I really want to, be able to do deals that she's working on or transactions that she's working on. And I was going for a lot of events. And at these events, I remember going for one of the events that one of the firms had held at the time. And I remember what the speaker at the time, she was talking about, your elevator pitch, like what is it? And I know that elevator pitch helped me, because after that day, and every single, coffee dates that I was going after that day, I can tell you that it changed, because just that 5-10 minutes I was using to introduce myself, I'd be like, oh, hi, I'm Yemisi, or, this is what I am, this is what I was doing. Just that, sending emails back, I was getting better feedback as against, just trying to cold call people, sending long emails with like 10 paragraphs, or like just meeting people up. Even LinkedIn, I just having that elevator pitch, I would say, I turned it into my coffee pitch, to be honest. And she talked about it, and she's like, you have to be able to have like a quick short sentence that introduces you in a very engaging, and it's like we want to know more about you. Oh, so really, that's nice. Okay, so tell me more about you. So I think for me, I just going for these events and then meeting people, it really did help me. And it wasn't like I didn't change too much about my cover letter, to be honest, but I put something that was, very specific, that I felt that I had a connection with that firm. So I remember applying to like the firms that I applied, every single one of my cover letter to those firms was different. I didn't do the exact same thing for them, because I had a different story. I had a different interaction. I'd had a different experience when I met them. And it wasn't just maybe I didn't meet any of the recruiters, to be honest. It was just the people that I'd met at the firm, and the feeling and the vibe that I'd gotten from them. Some people are like, oh yes, my firm is like, we're like all out for this, but at the end of the day, we're like cool, chill. So I had different experiences from different people. And so I tailored those experiences that I'd gained from meeting those people into my resume. So it's like some I didn't even meet in person, just speaking to them over the phone. They're like, okay, this is what it is, this is what it is. And I didn't have to put names in my resume or anything. For some people, I'd met some people. For some firms, I didn't meet anybody, but just the experience of just having that conversation with them, talking about what the firm does, the trajectory of where the firm's going to, how they, look at their recruitment process, like holistically and everything. I was able to tailor that. And I would say, yes, it did. It worked for me. It's just, I made sure that I didn't do the exact same thing for every firm. I wanted my story on my cover letter to be different from every firm.
That's amazing. So you mentioned that you didn't write because it's usually they advise you that when you meet someone from a firm, you should include that in your cover letter.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm applying to your firm because I like this and this and this, as I spoke with this and this person. And you mentioned that you didn't do that. That's interesting.
Well, I did for two firms, because personally, for the people that I didn't meet in person, I didn't put their names down, because I was just like, I had the connection enough just over the phone. And I met, to be honest, I met a lot of people. I can't list everybody in here.
Yes.
There's just so many people that I can list. So I just grouped them into one bucket. And I was like, I've spoken to a few partners or a few people at the firm, and this is the experience that I've gotten. For two, I was very specific, because I'd had that interaction with them, because you don't want to come off as, you've been seeing this person when you haven't actually seen. There's something about meeting somebody in person and having that relationship, like establishing that connection. And it wasn't just, you just don't meet somebody the first time and be like, oh yes, I'm just going to throw that name on my resume. And no, it just doesn't work like that. I had established those relationships with those people, and I was comfortable enough that I know that I could put their names, on my cover letter at the same time. But if I just had a conversation with you, or I'd met you for one coffee, and we'd like people are very nice, don't get me wrong, they'll help you. They want to see, they want to see you succeed. Like they want to see that you get somewhere. But I just wasn't comfortable, like, oh, putting this person's name and saying like, yeah, we had 10 coffee dates, or I just decided to group, because you talk to a bunch of people and like, who do I want to say? I'm not going to pick somebody who is that I didn't have that connection with. So the firm I think was just, for the firms that I did put names on, they're people that I was very comfortable enough to be able to put their names down on there. For the rest, I didn't, to be honest. I just grouped them in one bucket. I was just like, this is it.
That's very important. And because usually that person may be asked, and if they don't even remember you, what's the point?
Exactly. It's like, and are you going to go back and tell every single person, oh, I put your name in there, I put your name in there? No, it just doesn't work.
Exactly.